Hi, everyone. Thanks again for checking in. I'm actually pretty excited to finally get this post up and running. About a week ago, I was in Vegas for about 3 days for the Affiliate.com Live Internet Marketing Conference. Uh, in short, it was phenomenal. That's pretty much it. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm kidding. Okay, so bad joke. It's my video. What do you want? What I wanted to talk about was kind of what I've learned, and maybe a little bit of what you might expect. Because to be honest, this was my first internet marketing conference. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what it was going to, who was going to be there, or what it was going to be like, or what I should bring, or any of that stuff. So let me give you just kind of a general rundown of how this particular event was. Some other ones may be different, and I'll review those as well. But for this particular one, it cost me about $100 for the ticket itself. I have to pay for flight, I paid for the hotel, but the seminar, which was a 3-day seminar, it was a Friday, Saturday, Sunday event, was about $100. Now, I believe that if you invest in something, you should really get as much as you possibly can from it. This was no exception for me. So, the way that this particular event was, it was 90 minutes, 90-minute sessions, and so there would be a speaker or a presenter come in, they'd speak for 90 minutes, there'd be a little 10 or 15 minute break, then the next one would come in for about 90 minutes, 10 or 15 minute break, and during the break you really spend your time asking the speakers questions, you spend your time networking with other people who are there, but this thing was packed. I mean, it started at 7:30 and in the morning, and it didn't end until 7 o'clock at night, and there was one night I didn't eat dinner because the momentum was just insane. But the energy is phenomenal. So if nothing else, you go for the energy. But again, presenter after presenter after presenter. Every presenter in this particular conference, for the most part, most presenters would come up, they'd give you a bunch of information, really good content, but they would have a little pitch at the end. Now, you kind of expect that. I mean, this is an internet marketing conference, so when you're online, you don't just opt in for somebody's list and expect them to give you their entire course for free, of course, but you do expect to get a certain amount of valuable content, and then you have the choice whether or not to buy their product when they pitch you, but you know that there's a pitch coming, which is okay because again, they've built value, they've given you a lot of information, they have the right. And for this, it was just kind of the same thing, just face to face. So they would come up, they would give you a ton of information. Just to go out and give you an example, and you won't be able to read this, so don't try, but this is a mind map of the entire 3-day event for me. So these little squiggly lines, what they look like to you, they're actually individual words. And I printed it out on this one half a page just to let you know how much information was there. I'll give you another example of a mind map. This is one that I made just of ideas as I was going through. When somebody said something, I wrote it down. And a mind map, for those who don't know, is little ideas in the middle, and then you sort of have branching out supporting details, and that's sort of how it works. So you can see doitordon't.com for some information on mind maps, because I'll have them up there. But a massive amount of information, an amazing amount of good content, of good data, and this thing, the pace of it was unbelievable. So it was speaker after speaker after presenter, barely had time for lunch. But, and this is a very important but, the event itself, while the content is good, the speakers were phenomenal. I learned a lot. I got a lot of great ideas. I met a lot of good people that were speakers and presenters, and take pictures with them, whatever else. But the main point is not the speakers and presenters. The main point is building your network, because your network is everything. Peer groups, for those who don't know, and if I have to give you, if somebody said, what's the most important success tip you have, I'll tell you the most important success tip I can possibly share is this. You are, on average, who you hang out with. So if you're not happy with where your lot in life is right now, look around who you hang out with on a daily basis. Look around who you're consistently a part of, what group you are a part of. Chances are you're kind of like them. So, and that's not that they're bad people, but they're in that place, and chances are you're in that same sort of place too. So if you want to move forward with your life, if you want to make some massive changes very, very quickly, radically alter your peer group. So what I did is I went to this conference. I invested a sizable amount of money in terms of the airfare and the hotel. And so I go out there and I met everybody I could. And, one thing, kind of a funny side story, and a big tip, bring business cards. The way that I learned this is, of course, and I'm going to give kudos to my wife for this. A couple days before the conference, we're about to sort of packing up, getting ready for it. She's like, you should bring business cards. Don't you think that'd be a good idea? I'm like, you know what? We'll just see. It's my first event. We'll see what they do. I mean, come on, business cards? Who uses those? That's so old media. everybody uses business cards. So she was completely right. I was wrong. Bring business cards. But I want to tell you another story that relates to that. So day one, I get out there and somebody's like, "Oh, here's my business card. Do you have a card?" And of course, I'm feeling stupid and have to be, "Well, it's my first one. I don't have a card." But man, after her first day, I realized everybody I met was doing that same thing. So it wasn't a fluke. People are prepared. And so I took time during the breaks and I ran up to my hotel room, get on my computer, I print out a little doc, open up Word and print out a little doc template for business cards and create little business cards, run downstairs, have them printed out in the business center, and I'm literally cutting these things out on paper. But who cares? Nobody cared. I told everybody, that was like my pitch. Hey, listen, it's my first one. I didn't know you're supposed to bring business cards, but you know what? I took action. Here's business cards. So here you go. Please friend me on Facebook, find me on Twitter, look me up on Skype, whatever. And all of a sudden, that's what's caused all these friends. That's what's caused this network. So take action. If you get out there and you don't have business cards, figure out a way to make business cards. You're spending a lot of money on these events, so take whatever action you can. Don't let anything stand in your way. Because really, the way I looked at it, I had 72 hours with these people. I'm going to get as much juice as I possibly can from this event. And that was one way to do it. So again, bring business cards is the moral of the story. Going back to networking, you want to meet the speakers, you want to meet the presenters. These are the people who ultimately, are kind of where you're headed. These are the people that can help you out. Yes, there's going to be a pitch there. I didn't personally mind the pitches. Again, I was half sort of expecting it. I think it's their right to do that. But I didn't personally buy anything. I know a lot of people who did, which I thought was great. I just wasn't in the place where I could do that necessarily quite yet. But I tell you what it did do is I saw those speakers and I went, you know what, this guy, I'm going to work with him in 6 months, and I'm going to be giving him some money to work with him in 6 months because he's got a good product or he's got a good idea, and this is something that I know is going to help me build my business. So it helped me sort of set goals in that realm too. So even though I didn't purchase anything yet from them, I know that I will. Rich Chevron, I'm talking to you. So anyway, the other thing I would talk about when it comes to networking is you want to obviously meet the people sitting next to you, behind you, in front of you. Meet as many people as you can. You're going to meet people who are better at certain things than you are. You're going to find out that, you know what, you're better than a lot of these people are too in certain areas. You may find people who are immensely successful, making tons of money, and yet they are not anywhere near as bright as you are. They just took consistent action. Or maybe they learned how to outsource something that you didn't know you could outsource. There's lots of different things out there. But the network is everything, and you have to take action. You have to follow up. So yes, you want to get some sleep, but really you want to stay busy when you're out there. So I was going out to lunches with everybody, going out to dinner with everybody, obviously exchanging information with our newfound business cards, and then making sure that I followed up and friending them on Facebook, setting them up on Skype. I actually have a mastermind group that I'm a part of now, which is something that I really didn't even know about, but I learned about masterminds at this conference during one of the seminars with a gentleman named Bob. He goes by Bob the Teacher, so Google him. But he had some great information on masterminds, so we're creating a mastermind group now with some other people that I met there. And we're taking action, we're following up, we're building that momentum, we're keeping each other accountable. And to be honest, we are each other's peer group now. So we're successful in different areas of life, but we can feel that energy building, and that momentum that we're creating is really what's going to prepare us to the next level. Because when it comes to this business, I don't care what anybody says, it's collaboration, not competition. There's always going to be some friendly battles for turf and things like that in this business. It's just sales and marketing in general. But the name of the game, the people who really are good at what they do, the people who are phenomenal at this, the people who rise to the highest levels, it's collaboration. Affiliate.com is the course that I'm taking right now. It's Mike Filsaime and Chris Farrell's Affiliate.com. Those two guys came together, they collaborated. Mike's got a team of people, Chris has got a team of people. So those teams are working together to move this thing forward. It's collaboration that really will bring us to the next level, and that is only going to be as strong as whatever the immediate network is that you've built. So as much as you can build a network, maintain the network, create the momentum, and to be honest, man, 60 days, 90 days, 120 days out, if the people aren't contributing to where you need to be, move on to that next level. I'm a big believer in helping somebody up, but they got to be willing to carry some of the weight too. And so I fully expect, and it's within my right to ask somebody who maybe is a little higher than me to sort of ask for a hand up too, but I'll be willing to do whatever I can for them. So, collaboration is the name of the game. And again, that's going to come down to the strength of your network, how you can leverage that network. So that's what I say when it comes to these conferences. I'm going to attend as many as I possibly can, but it's for the networking. I mean, I'm sure I'm going to learn things, and that's a side benefit to me. For me, it's getting out there, it's meeting and greeting, it's making sure I build that network and follow up. So there was even a point, which I won't go too much into detail about, but I ended up the final day, no sleep for 37 hours, which I think was a new record for me. It was a new record for me. I haven't ever done that, I'm convinced. So it was a great night. But anyway, I just wanted to thank Chris Farrell and Mike Filsaime for throwing that event. It was phenomenal, guys. Thank you very much. And also a quick shout out to the guys that I've met out there. Jared Elbridge, and I'll put the links on the post here. But Jared and Brian and Charles, I'm going to have all the links on the bottom here so you can check out their blogs and what they're currently doing. I also, you friend me on Facebook if you haven't already, and you'll see everybody else that we've sort of met with. But one thing that was unexpected during this, which I thought was another great benefit, is I met John Chow. And I'll put his link on here too. But John Chow, if you don't know his site yet, he is very, very well known in the internet blogging world, the blogosphere as it were. And he's great at monetizing websites, or specifically blogs. And a lot of the things that I started out with internet marketing came from his site. He's actually got a great book, which I highly recommend. You sign up for it. It's one of the free ebooks, but it's phenomenal. But I actually hung out with him for almost all 3 days, at least for lunch and things like that. There's actually a little video of me that he's got .com faux lunches that he does. So I'll put a link to that too, so you guys can see it and kind of get a glimpse of what that event was like. But you never know who you're going to meet, and this guy is essentially one of the top in his field. Completely different area than what Mike Filsaime and Chris Farrell do, and yet I get a chance to put him into my network. Now, it's not to the point where John and I are calling each other, at least not yet, John. I'm going to find your number. I'm kidding. But, I'm able to hang out with him. I'm able to kind of learn some information from him, and he is genuine. He's telling you, you know what? Here's what you need. Do this, tweak this, change this a little bit, think about this. And these guys, again, it's collaboration, it's networking, it's everybody's here to make a little money and to help each other grow and to have fun in the process, and that's why I love this. So I hope that helped, and if you're thinking about going to your first one, and is it really worth it? It's worth it. I tell you, it's worth it. Dive in head first, jump in with both feet, squeeze as much juice as you can from these things, because your network is everything. And the more you develop your network, the more you take action after that event, the more you build momentum, that's the stuff that's going to change your life. I promise you. So anything I can do to help you out, I am always here for you. Please, if you can share this video with as many people as you know, that would be very, very helpful. So like it, share it, comment on it, tweet it out. Whatever you can do, I would greatly appreciate it, and I'm always looking forward to any comments, especially for those of you who were there. And if I didn't have a chance to meet you, I apologize, but let's meet now. That's what Facebook's all about. So thanks again, Chris Farrell, Mike Filsaime. I owe you guys everything for that event. It was phenomenal. So, and the second time I've ever been to Vegas. Can you believe it? So I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing everybody again at another event in the future. And if I haven't met you yet, I'm looking forward to that as well. So thanks again for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.